Yep, Chabot in, Ridley out.
I guess with Thomas coming back, how much did you weigh how you're going to deploy your top four?
Well, I think that's exactly it. Is we have to get a good rolling of a top four, and going on the road, you don't get last change. You want to be able to play anyone against anyone. I think clearly one of those guys has to play the right side, Chicky's done it, Shabby's done it as well. We'll give Sandy a crack at it. I think, you've got puck movers there everywhere now. I think you'll see our breakouts, our zone time. A lot of things will improve with Shabby. And to me, it's a little more even, I guess, the top four.
What's it mean to get a guy like Chabot back, though? I mean, just the minutes, right?
Well, it's everything. He skates you out of trouble. He can pass you out of trouble. He's good on the power play, 4-on-4, 3-on every scenario. He's dynamic in. And one of our biggest issues, has been zone time in the O-zone and our breakouts not being as clear. It's on the wall too much. I think you'll see that improve drastically with Shabby playing.
You anticipate Greg this weekend, or is it?
No.
He needs more time.
No, yeah.
And just on, I know you don't announce your goalie till they come down the tunnel, but Korpisalo hasn't been back to Columbus since he got dealt. Spent a lot of time there. What would it mean to him?
Well, you never know. Everyone's different, right? And, sometimes it's weird going back. Obviously, he's done some great things in that city, playoff wins, what have you. He's such a quiet guy, you'd never know, if it was big to him to play there or not. But clearly we're playing a back-to-back, so, you're going to see them both.
You've tweaked things up front as well, brought back Timmy Stützle with Matthew Joseph. What did you like between those two when they played together?
I think Joe right now has likely been our most consistent forward. I think if we're being honest, whatever line he's played on has had success. Arguably our best line, was him, Ridley, and Tarasenko there for a stretch. So I think Joe provides an element of not cautious play, but he's the F3. He knows, he's really good in the D zone. As well as the opportunity to get pucks back for guys like Timmy and Drake. And Timmy and Drake haven't played together a whole lot. I think when you're in the situation that we are, where we're not, we're scoring goals, so we can't say that we're not, but we're not creating. And then eventually you won't score. The numbers always come back. So I think Timmy and Drake both think the game in a certain way. Now we got to make sure that we're taking care of the puck going the other way. But it also, Giroux, Norris, and Brady is a big line. Good players, obviously, but there's some size there. There's some speed, face-offs. I think that could be a really good line.
You mentioned Tarasenko was really going with Greg and Joseph. What have you thought of Tarasenko's game, maybe since Ridley went out in the last couple of weeks, we'll call it?
Well, he clearly he hasn't found the net. One thing, when I meet with him, it's not about defensive play or, he's a plus player. He's been very good defensively. Unfairly to him at times, he's not playing with a ton of offensive, maybe guys. With the injury to Ridley, that's kind of slowed that down. But he's a streaky guy, and he looked good in practice today. He scored some goals. He's one of those guys that can certainly get hot, and certainly we'd like him to. But his play away from the puck has been very good. His compete level the other night was real high. When the game got going, he started banging and he started getting inside, and that's what we need from him every night. Now, clearly, we'd like him to score, but at the same point, not at the risk of not playing the right way, and I think he's playing the right way.
What type of challenges does Columbus kind of face for you guys, especially a desperate team trying to kind of climb up the standings?
Well, Columbus just beat Boston the other day 5-2 or whatever it was, and they just finished winning 2 or 3 in a row until they lost last night. Everybody in the league's good. It doesn't make a difference who you play, and for me, it's our game. We have to play our game and play it and start playing games every other night and create our identity. And that's, to me, it's playing fast-paced, not letting you have the puck a whole lot, holding on to it a lot longer. We want to get our D a little bit involved offensively off the rush, as well as in the zone, and really come at you and not give you a lot of time. And I think we're going to rep it out, obviously, in practice, but we need to play games.
He was saying to me the other day that when you play a lot, keep seeing that mindset. He said this going to the rink and thinking about hockey for an hour a day is not ideal?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I mean, I'm not big on excuses, but this is a real different scenario compared to the regular NHL schedule. I mean, you know, you win 3 games in a row, and you'd have no carryover from it because you don't play for 8 days. Then when you lose a game, you've got 3 or 4 days to overanalyze it, and then you find yourself feeling the exact same way. So for me, we need to win a game, but we need to win a game doing it right, and then play, and then play, and play, and get on some kind of a run rhythm, what have you, and do what I know what we can do.
As you push forward into a busy part of your schedule, what's your biggest concern, the thing that, in your opinion, you need to tidy up the most, maybe from the first 17 games?
Special teams. I think we continue to get better expected goals against. We need to, offensively, we need to create more and have the puck in the O-zone a lot more. But special teams, right now, where we sit is 22 and 26th, I believe. You're not going to win a whole lot, like that. And I think the most important one, you always, I think the emphasis gets put on the power play. You want to score on the power play because when you do, your top guys start to feel it, and it bleeds into their 5-on-5 game, and they're going good. But probably the most important is the penalty kill, and you got to keep the puck out of your net. If we can get on a little bit of a run on the penalty kill, I know last year I was looking in December, we're 88%. And you win 7 games or whatever it was, 7-3. I can't remember what the record was, but to me, the penalty kill, has to get going, get a little bit of confidence, and I think the power play can get sharper.
You obviously think you have the personnel to excel in both. What is it? What little details are missing?
Rhythm, confidence in penalty killing is all confidence to know that the next guy's going here and going there. And I think we just got to get into a rhythm of just doing it. And if they score, they score. But we do the same thing, and we just do it harder and faster. Start to get a few more pairs together that stay together, so the instincts. I guess penalty killing it's instincts. And, every scenario, the more you rep it out, the more it becomes easy in your mind to know what you got to do. And then, and just as easily when you get scored on the penalty kill, you can get hot. And everyone knows that feeling when you're hot on the penalty kill. You go out there knowing the other team's not going to score, and we will get going. We hope it's sooner than later, but there's a good group of penalty killers in there.
Like, you had that 4-minute the other night. That was your chance to get momentum and.
Yeah, and that's clearly, yeah. The other night that was our chance. 4 minutes. You go in and say score 1 or score 2. You put the brakes on them, and we lost momentum. From it. They did give them credit. They did a good job killing, but we can be better there as well. And it's not for a lack of effort. These guys are trying. Sometimes, we went through a spurt last year, where we were super, super hot for 2 months, winning games with it. And then we went through a month where we were giving up shorties and couldn't get a shot on net. So I know it's going to turn. I know that they want it to turn. They're working on it. You get a bounce or two and you never know. And then all of a sudden that thing gets going hot. But, it's like anything else. You got to just keep plugging away and find ways to fix it.
Got to be a pretty good feeling for you here getting set to return tomorrow.
Yeah, obviously very excited. Like I said earlier this week, there's nothing worse than sitting upstairs and watching the guys go out there and battle. You just want to be out there with them. So, no, obviously looking forward to tomorrow night.
What's the approach that you'll take here? Is it just keep things as simple as possible?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough that with the injury I had, I've been skating for a while. So, really it's just going back there and trying to help the team win. And obviously we've played some good hockey. We've had some tougher games, but I think this group is looking to take a step forward here in the upcoming games.
Can your observations from where you were, up in the stands or up in the press box, can they be applied to helping the team on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, I always like going upstairs to watch a game just because the view of the ice is so it's almost like looking up in the sky, right? It's like it's so big, it looks very slow, obviously, but it's not when you're out there. But you know what? You just find little things that maybe when you look back when I was playing, you didn't think you had time, or you didn't think you could make certain plays. So I think I try and take advantage of that and going up in the press box to watch the games. But at the end of the day, it's just going back out there and doing what I can do to help this team to win games.
How good has it been for you, though, mentally, to be around the team for the last couple of weeks, to go to Sweden, to gear up for this
Yeah, it's
kind of thing?
it's been the best part about it. I mean, I think obviously I was only out for a little bit longer than 4 weeks. There's worse injuries than that, but mentally it's always hard. I mean, when you're not around the guys, when the guys are on the road, you spend a lot of time by yourself and skating by yourself and not really being on the same schedule as guys, obviously. And when I was lucky enough to go to Sweden to spend some time there, I was in the room with the guys all day. I was skating on the ice at the end, and the guys were still out there. So it almost felt like I didn't really leave the team too much. So obviously it was a lot easier than past experience I've had.
What does the approach have to be here? The schedule's really going to ramp up here now.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think everybody's kind of happy with that. I mentioned that earlier. Is when you start a season, you kind of want to get a lot of games in you just to kind of get in the rhythm. And I feel like schedule since the start of the year hasn't really been like that. We've played 1 or 2 games. We've had 4 days in between. We played 2 games, 1 game, 3 days. So it's been kind of hard to get in that rhythm. So I think everybody's kind of looking forward to kind of getting back into we could call it the normal NHL schedule and playing every other day, yeah.
If it happens, what could a defense pairing of Thomas Chabot and Jake Sanderson look like?
Yeah, that'd be. We played a little bit. Actually, the game I got hurt together. He's an elite player. It's easy to play with this guy. He's so good both with the eyes. His skating is probably as best as it gets. So if we do see it, it's it'd be a pleasure for sure to play with him.
How have you kind of adjusted to playing on your offside compared to the left side? Like, how does that kind of evolve for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of worked a lot on it. It's like I was saying earlier this year, it's hard when you play so many years in a row back on your left side to go back on the offside. Obviously, offensively and everything, it's fun because you're always kind of facing the play, but defensively and breakouts and rims in certain situations, you always tend to be on your back end, which is any defensive coach would tell you that the back end's not always great, but I mean, it's about finding ways on using your forehand as much as you can, and you know what, I think it's been going pretty well.
To assume that you've had this game marked in the calendar?
Of course. First time back in Columbus since I got traded, so we've been waiting for this.
I'm guessing you have some pretty fond memories of playing.
Yeah, of course. How many years I spent there? 7, 8 years, so majority of my lifetime, and a lot of fun memories. My son was born there. A lot of good stuff happening there. So yeah.
So is it a different approach for you?
Not in the game, that's for sure. But it's good to be back in town and see familiar faces and having those good memories.
You didn't go back there with LA last year, did you? Or
No.
Did you face them in LA?
Yeah, we played a game in LA against him, but I was backing up, so I didn't play that game.
But are you looking forward? Will it be strange to play them, or will it be? Is it just another game? I mean, how do you kind of look at it?
It's just another game. There's as much points available as any other game, and think back. It's only it's 10 months since I got traded, but it feels a lot longer. So I wouldn't say it's probably weird being in the building, but not weird to play against them.
How has the transition to here been for you?
It's been good. And like I said in the beginning, that was an easy group to fit in, and also the city of Ottawa, me and my family really like it from the get-go.
Are you an emotional guy?
I don't know. Sometimes I would say, yeah.
Emotion can be something tricky for a goaltender, though. Are you a guy that deals well with emotions?
I would say so. Like, I usually go with a business-like approach in the game. Doesn't matter what happens, you just keep going and keep executing your plan and stuff like that. And there's always some kind of outside noise during the game, and you just try to block it.
Are you anxious to start getting into the rhythm of playing on a every second night basis kind of thing?
Yeah, from now on it's going to be almost every second day. So, not a lot of practice time. So, just keep playing and keep maintaining your energy levels and executing your plan.
Where do you feel you're at with your game right now?
It's pretty good, but obviously there's, letting 3, 4, 5 goals every night. So there's stuff to be cleaned up, and overall it's all right, but want to be better.